Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Walsall Rewind. This time around, we're looking back at the month of February. As always, it's myself and my colleague Paul for this one. There's plenty to talk about, both on the pitch and off the pitch, with 6 matches for the Saddlers in the month of February. So let's jump straight into it, as we always do, Paul. It started off with a home game. Everybody likes being at home, and it was Salford this time round. Didn't start the way we perhaps would have wanted it. I think Cole Stockton scored after just 4 minutes in that one, and then it was a breakaway goal for Hakib Adelakan, who put Salford 2-0 up at that point. But a brace from substitute Danny Johnson rescued a point for the Saddlers on the day, didn't
Yeah, he did. Obviously, really poor start. I think the Saddlers had just slipped into a habit of conceding early goals in the game previously before that, which obviously falls in January, but was Fleetwood Town. I think it was 2 in the 15 minutes. So to concede after 4 minutes was a real blow. But I actually thought the Saddlers looked a lot more like themselves in that game. Obviously, coming on the back of those 2 defeats, thought we looked a lot much more like what we've been used to seeing from the team, and obviously improved in the second half. But obviously, it was that sort of sucker punch, wasn't it, when Adelakan scored? At that point in the game, I don't think Salford were on top and caught us cold, so it was a really difficult one to take. But credit to the lads for the reaction, credit to Matt Sadler with the subs as well. But Danny Johnson's exactly the man you want in that situation, isn't he? When you really need a goal, Danny Johnson normally stands up to be counted, doesn't he? And he did just that on the day against Salford. 2 very Danny Johnson like goals, weren't they? And I thought the Saddlers deserved the point, probably deserved more from the game, but it stopped the rot of those consecutive defeats, and it could be an important point.
Yeah, it could. I mean, every point obviously is important, particularly at this stage of the season, and that rundown into those. But on the goals that DJ scored there, particularly the second one, he talked about him being the man in the right place at the right time. He's got a knack of that, hasn't he? And when the ball lands 2 or 3 yards out inside the 6-yard box, he is that person that you want there, isn't he?
It's that instinct, it's that know-how, it's that predatory instinct, if you like. You're just making sure you're in the right place, always reacting first, which is what he does really, really well. And yeah, when the game's getting scrappy, when the game's all hands to the pump type thing, he's the one who can keep his cool in that situation, and he did just that. And like Matt Sadler always says, every player will have their part to play, and he's got a massive part to play. He'll have a big say this season, I've no doubt about that.
Then we go into an away game. Colchester themselves picked up a little bit over the course of the Christmas period, and you're thinking to yourself, we can go there and hopefully back up that point, as you always want to do. You want to build on things, and it looked like we were going to do that. I think the link-up play from Ellis Harrison into Charlie Lake, it was a fine strike from the edge of the box, and at that point you're thinking to yourself, okay, we might go on and look defensively sound again and get another 3 points on the board. But I think Taylor Allen hitting 100 games in that one, probably remember it for all the wrong reasons, getting himself sent off, and then it was a quick fire double from Teddy Bishop and Awara Edwards. Really good strike from Edwards there to eventually secure the home side all 3 points.
Yeah, you mentioned Edwards there. He was a real thorn in the side all afternoon, wasn't he? Especially in the first half, he caused Conor Barrett and Oshin McKenzie, who were sort of on the right hand side at that point, a lot of problems, didn't he? With his pace and his running in behind, he was a standout player on that day. But I thought the Saddlers were relatively solid. I think it was the first half we didn't really see an awful lot of goal mouth action, did we? Not a lot in the game at all. But I think again, as so often been the case, Saddlers came out stronger in the second half and looked the more likely, looked a bit more aggressive in that start of the second half. And at the time when Charlie Lakin lashed the ball from the edge of the box into the net, I thought the Saddlers deserved to go in front at that point. I was really, really pleased for Charlie Lakin as well, because I think that's been a long time coming for him. We all see his effort and that he covers every blade of grass. That's obvious every single week. But I feel like he's been unlucky not to score. He's had a lot of good opportunities. He's had some keepers made some unbelievable saves. Peterborough away being one I can remember, where he had a couple of really good chances. But really pleased he got his goal. I think he's deserved it. It's been a long time coming, so I was happy for him. But then I think the disappointing thing from a Saddlers perspective, I think it was only 4 minutes between his goal and Bishop's goal. I remember the ball, comes in. I think Tommy makes a save, and it's that reaction, isn't it? I think Colchester react first, and I think the ball comes back out, and Bishop applies the finish, and then it's Colchester who have the tails up. And I just don't think the Saddlers reacted particularly well to that equaliser, to going ahead. And then when Colchester had the tails up, bit of magic from Aurora Edwards. What a goal! I think that could potentially be a goal of the month contender. I don't know if the nominations have come out yet, but I'll no doubt that'll be in and amongst them, won't they, for the goal of the month? It was a terrific strike. Bent it into that far corner, and then obviously moments later, Taylor Allen gets himself sent off, but obviously got to praise Taylor Allen because straight away after the game, walked straight out that dressing room. Instead of turning to the coach, he turned straight to you and I and volunteered himself to do media duties because he felt like he wanted to take responsibility for his actions. And obviously Matt Sadler said he didn't have to do that at all, but I think that's a testament to who Taylor Allen is, the character he is. He recognised that, okay, I'll hold my hands up, I'll learn from it, and I'll front it up and apologise to the supporters who obviously travelled a long way. And actually, it was really good away following, wasn't it? Really good numbers for Colchester. So, look, one to forget, but one to learn from as well, which, credits Taylor Allen as well, and congratulations on the 100 as well.
Definitely. And you mentioned goal of the month contenders there. There was one in the next game as well with Gillingham. The Saddlers, got themselves ahead. Jamil Matt having a fantastic season for us. Albeit a bit of a fortuitous goal in this one where Connor Barrett cuts inside on his left foot and actually shoots at that point when he's inside the box. Something that we'd love to see more from him, because he gets in those positions but doesn't necessarily pull the trigger, but does so in this one. Comes off Jamil Matt as he diverts it goalwards, and again, talk about coming out in the second half and getting that goal. I think it was only after 4 minutes where we got ourselves in the lead against Gillingham, and they didn't really do an awful lot in the game, but it's that one strike from Robin McKenzie. I think it's about 30 yards out, which catches everybody by surprise, but it is an unbelievable strike. And we talk about being, a contender for goal of the month. I wouldn't be surprised to see it as an up there for goal of the season either.
Yeah, that's it. I think that was Jammer's 11th of the season, was it?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, or 10th, sorry. I think it was the 10th, wasn't it, the Gillingham? Yeah. That was his 10th of the season, so great moment for him to hit double figures. Every strike, I think that's their initial target, is to get to double figures as quickly as possible. So to get that in early-ish February, really pleased for Jammer on that one. But yeah, hell of a strike, weren't it? I mean, there's not really a lot Tommy Simkin can do about that. And obviously Gillingham, manager under John Coleman, has obviously been on a run of, a lengthy run without a win. So they had to do everything they can to get a result that was solid. They made it frustrating for the Saddlers, but it weren't for the want of trying. The Saddlers really pushed, gave their all. I just couldn't quite find that really clear-cut chance, I don't think, at 1-1. But yeah, it was a real blow, because I thought the Saddlers were, again, when Walsall get that goal, you're thinking, okay, looking on course here, looking in a good position to perhaps go and capitalise and get that win. But when you're on a run of not winning games, all of a sudden it just feels that little bit tougher, doesn't it? But it was a point added to our total, and obviously at least it weren't a run of consecutive defeats after Colchester. So to get a point again, as we said earlier, could be an important one.
Yeah, it could. And then again, I mentioned it just after the Salford game. You're on about trying to back those points up, and with another home game then at the weekend against Chesterfield. You're looking at it, Chesterfield are probably one of the favourites to get potentially promoted at the start of the season. Faltered ever so slightly, but still difficult, opposition for us to come up against. And when they take the lead, I think it was after 8 minutes through Jamie Grimes again, you're thinking to yourself, is there that little bit of a hangover from the frustrations of not beating Gillingham in the week, and is that really going to set us back again? But again, come out in the second half and really show what the Saddlers are all about. I think, the 3 goals coming from Jamil Matt, Ellis Harrison and Levi Manchi. You get 3 strikers on the score sheet, 2 of them from January. A really pleasing afternoon for everybody involved, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good day, and back on track, so to speak, wasn't it? Important to end that 5-match winless run, which all of a sudden there's a bit of pressure on the Saddlers. Other teams starting to creep up and close that gap. So there was probably a sense of we need a result today type thing. But obviously I think it was a set piece, wasn't it? I think a short corner, then a cross, and then Grimes, the centre half, manages to get that goal after so early on, and it's a difficult situation then all of a sudden for the Saddlers, but credit that they've reacted really well, haven't we? Really good reaction from the boys. Jamil Matt, really good finish, wasn't it? I think it was on the turn from a Taylor Allen corner who came back from his suspension that day. What an impact he had, because I think it was 2 of his corners that led to the goals, wasn't it? It's obviously Jamil Matt's and then Ellis Harrison. Really pleased for him to get his first goal, and I think it was in the month of February, obviously since joining on the deadline day. I think he's really started to, as the month went on, Ellis Harrison really started to cement his place in that team, really start to show what he's about, because I think him and Jamil Mack could form a really good partnership. We'll probably talk about that at length later on in February and into March is really one, but I've been impressed with Harrison, so I'm really pleased he got off the mark so early doors, and exactly the same for Levi as well, to come off the bench and get himself on the score sheet as a January signing, as a striker. You just want that goal as early as possible. They've both got that, and really positive day.
Yeah, it wasn't in it. We talk about trying to put runs together. When you're on a losing run, things can. That next game, you can't wait for it to come. But the same works with when you finally won a game after not winning for a period of time. And when you beat somebody at home again, you're looking to win your home games, pick up points away from home where you can. And you go to Morecambe the week after, and you're thinking to yourself, potential banana skin with where they are. The pitch was one of the worst I've seen, but Morecambe, there's a disease in the pitch which obviously they can't help, and it makes it difficult then, because the style of football you perhaps want to play, you can't. But the Saddlers remain patient in that game, and came out in the second half again. I think we're going to say this after most games where we come to life in the second half, and they go down to 10 men. I think just before that, Ellis should have had a penalty. Wasn't given. Yep. It's one of the most stonewall penalties I think I've ever seen not given. But the less said about the officials at that point, because I think it's about a minute or so later, Jamie Jellis is through, he gets taken down, there's a red card there, and then from the free kick, Taylor Allen steps up, and he's so good at set pieces, goes in off the inside of the post, and then later on in the second half, Jamie Jellis remains patient on the edge of the box, saw him back to probably his best at that point, and finishes really, really well, and the Saddlers walk away with 2 points, 3 points on the road for the first time since New Year's Day against Notts County, and deserved it on the day.
Yeah, I think the Saddlers deserved the victory, and like you say, it was a banana skin game, wasn't it? Morecambe absolutely fighting for their lives, tough place to go. I've got to say, really bad pitch. Look more like Morecambe Beach, but yeah, obviously I know the ground staff worked really hard there. It's not the only bad pitch that you'll play on at this time of year. It's the Bescot ones obviously. Had a few issues as well. A few of the other away games as well we played have had some issues with pitches. So it's not just Morecambe, it must be said. Obviously the time of year, but that was a challenge as well. But I thought the Saddlers adapted to it really well. I thought we were in control for most of that first half. Looked fairly comfortable, and it felt like the Saddlers could go up a gear in that second half, as we have done in many games this season, and came out and looked really aggressive, looked on the front foot. And as you say, Stonewall penalty, I don't think it almost got forgotten about amongst the result, didn't it? But it's only moments later, I think the officials get it right with the red card. He's through on goal. I don't think the covering defender's going to get there. He's probably going to get a shot away, gets hacked down. I don't think Morecambe can have any complaints with the red card. But the amazing thing for us, and what must have really frustrated Derek Adams, is because we scored straight from that free kick. Obviously, there's no adjustment period. There's no sort of 5-10 minute period where Morecambe can just sit all 10 men behind the ball and try and frustrate the Saddlers, because they've already got a goal ahead. There's just no reaction time whatsoever. So I think that was a really key moment in the game, and I think the Saddlers controlled it for them, albeit Morecambe, to their credit, I think for 5-10 minutes they did have a little spell of possession, but the Saddlers weathered that fairly comfortably and got that second goal. Jamie Jelly's terrific finish. He was speaking to us after the game about how he's been working with Darren Byford about shifting the ball. Did just that, really good finish, and when that went in, you felt that was game over. And I think if anything, I think the Saddlers would have got a third rather than Morecambe get back into it. It just completely kills them with the 10 men from that perspective, and then a little bit of drama after the game, but that's not one we wanted to get involved in, was it? So we'll move on regarding that, but really good 3 points and back-to-back wins, and the picture just looked totally different to 14 days before, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. Really classy and respectful away performance from the Saddlers. Got it over the line, and it just showed what we're all about.
It's exactly how you should behave when you're top of the league.
Exactly how you should behave, and a manager like Matt Sadler will go far in the game with performances like that from his side. Then you move on to Tuesday night, and you're hoping that it's one of the games in hand, the game that was postponed from, I think it was the 4th of January.
That's right, yeah.
Cheltenham Town, managed by former head coach Michael Flynn. So it's one of those where you're thinking, if you got that former manager looking to do one over on his old side, and you talked about being comfortable in the Morecambe game. I think we looked even more comfortable in the Cheltenham game up until the 91st minute. Goals from Ellis Harrison after just 1 minute. Real strikers finish, a poacher's instinct finishes. The ball drops down off the crossbar, just pokes it home, and then Albert Adoma capitalises on a defensive mistake and just uses all of his experience to take it round the goalkeeper, slow things down, and then tap it into an empty net with one of the best celebrations following I think I've seen at the football club. But you think you get to 90 minutes, comfortable away, 2-0 win, and you're thinking, done and dusted. It looks, a routine win for the Saddlers. But a deflected shot from the edge of the box finds its way into former Saddlers striker George Miller, who, pokes it home himself on the volley. It's a good finish. Nothing Tommy Simkin can do about that one. And then, 3 minutes later, a long throw comes into the box. It breaks for substitute Jordan Thomas, whose strike deflects up off a Saddlers defender into the roof of the net, and the game looks 2-0. And I kept saying after it, can't believe we've lost the game. We didn't lose the game. We got a point from it, but that's how it felt.
Oh yeah, I'm still a bit shell shocked from it, to be honest. It just looked the most routine win was on the cards, and going into that 90th minute, I just could not foresee Cheltenham getting back into the game. So obviously credit to them, they didn't give up, and I think especially when they get that first goal, all of a sudden the fans believe, and then they get that throw-in situation right at the death, and you're just thinking, please no. It just changed the complexion, but yeah, there's a lot going into this game, wasn't there? Obviously, the Michael Flynn factor, facing your former manager. Obviously, Liam Kinsella's in the squad, albeit didn't get on the night. George Miller, Cheltenham, upturning form, really good home side. I think they might have lost 7 of their first 11 in the season. I think they've only lost 3 or 4 since then. So the upturning form has been superb, and credit to Michael Flynn, the job he's done there. And I think that they might have one eye on maybe making a late dash for the playoffs. Who knows? But with the character they showed on that night, there's credibility in that. But so we were expecting a tough game, weren't we? We knew. I think a lot of people, including ourselves, thought, if we can come away from Cheltenham with a point, 7 points from those 3 games, 4 points from away games at Morecambe and Cheltenham, I think a lot of people would have been satisfied with that. It's just in the manner in which it's happened. I think 46 seconds, Ellis Harrison, something like that was when the goal was timed. Again, getting his second goal. So that just goes to show he's really found his feet and settled down in a Walsall shirt. Really positive to see. And it was just control. I like the midfield dynamic of Brandon Comley and Ryan Stirk in that game. I thought it worked really well. They battled well. I thought Oshie McKenzie was excellent on the night. So yeah, it was a really, really good performance. And then the subs come on, and it felt like the right time as well, just to help us see that game out. And Albert Adoma does what he does. He keeps possession in crucial times. And I think I said on co-commentary, if there was a man you can trust to keep his composure to go and round the goalkeeper, it's Albert Adoma, and he did just that. And at that point, it was very hard not to think that 3 points were coming home, and it was 3 wins on the spin. And you're then thinking about, the Saddlers going to go on a really excellent run, but it's just so frustrating when it's deflections involved, when it goes against you to just not quite get that rub of the green with the deflections. But it's about who reacts quickest, and credit to George Miller. He scored 12 goals for us, and I think he's been to double figures for Cheltenham or in and amongst that. So he's had a good season, or on course for double figures rather. So again, he's shown similar to what he showed with the Saddlers, and then obviously the goal as a result of the throw-in. Eventually manages to find its way all the way across the box, doesn't quite get cleared, and fair play to the lad, he takes a shot and deflection takes it past Tommy Simpkin. But the bigger picture of it, it's not a bad point at a very, very tough place to go. It's just the manner, and it's about how you pick yourself up from that.
Exactly, it's all about putting points on the board at this stage of the season, and goals obviously get you points. Paul, there was 9 goals scored in the month of February. Who gets your goal of the month though?
I think the Taylor Adam free kick. I think crucial moment in the game, and really pleased for Tales, because after that red card at Colchester, he's come back with like 2 goals and an assist, and his numbers are absolutely outstanding this season. I think it's about 13 or 14 goal involvements. So for a left centre half, that's absolutely outstanding. So, and the free kick inside the near post as well, really good finish. So I'm going with Tails.
Yeah, I think he gets my vote as well because it's a great finish. That's our Goal of the Month vote. It's now time for you to vote for yours. Goal of the Month is brought to you in association with the Turmeric Company. The 4 goals that we've chosen from the 9 are now available to vote for over on our social channels. You'll also get a link sent out to you with that vote. So make sure you do vote for yours, and you can choose which one of those is going to be your Goal of the Month for February. Elsewhere at the football club, in the commercial department, Adam and Kira attended one of our key partners, Pallet Track's shareholder gala dinner at the Celtic Manor right at the start of the month. The pair supported Stuart, Tom, Freya and the team at Pallet Track as our commercial relationship with them continues to grow from strength to strength. We also now have very limited availability for 2 home games for Matchday Hospitality, with Grimsby and Harrogate being those 2 games. There are the only 2 games where we do have availability within hospitality, so make sure you do book yours now to avoid any disappointment. Once those have sold out, there will be no further games available for you to book hospitality for. In the conference and events department, we've got a number of events coming up here at the stadium, so I'll just reel those off for you now. In March, we have the Sadler's Spotlight event, which is focusing on the academy. It's going to be hosted by Paul, and we'll also be talking to the likes of Rob Williams and Ryan Simmons in that one. This will take place on Thursday the 20th of March, which is a new date due to our first team fixture against Bromley now taking place on Thursday the 13th of March away at Bromley, because that's now live on Sky Sports. Tickets are also on sale for our brand new inaugural darts championship between the players and you, the Sadler's fans. Co-chairman Ben Boycott, Chief Exec Ben Sadler and Sadler's stars Tommy Simpkins, Sam Hornby, Ronan Mayer, Harry Williams, Ryan Stirk and Taylor Allen will all be in attendance for that one. That is on Sunday the 6th of April, so grab your tickets now and you could be taking one of them on at the Ocky. Another event we have on sale as well is our Father's Day lunch. For this you can bring along your dad, granddad, stepdad, anybody you want for a 3-course meal, a stadium tour, and you'll also get an exclusive gift in that. Tickets are £25 for adults and £12.50 for under 12s. A final event to mention on that we have got on sale is Bingo Loco. It's returning to the football club. If you want to experience the world's largest bingo party, you can do so by getting your tickets for the night, which is on Saturday the 28th of June. Tickets for all of the events that have been mentioned previously are available to purchase via our e-ticketing website, or just contact the conference and events department directly. Finally, early bird season tickets are now on sale, and with frozen prices for you, meaning that adults can watch football next season here at the Poundland Bescott Stadium for just under £15 a game. We're also continuing to offer free football for under 18s. For every game that you attend with an under 18 ticket, you will get money back. This will be given back to you at the end of the season, depending on how many games you have attended. The support so far that we've seen over the first weekend of it being on sale is incredible, so please continue that support and get your season ticket early in that early bird period. That's everything that's happening elsewhere at the football club, Paul. And as you can see, there is plenty going on off the pitch as well. But we move into March. There's another 6 games coming up, potential of 6 games. The Gillingham one might move depending on international call-ups. We've already seen one game, which we obviously will talk about in March, is Rewind. But the other 5 games coming up, they're all going to be important, aren't they? Every single one is at this point of the season.
I think Sir Alex Ferguson always used to say March is where things really hot up. So yeah, March is always an important month. I think there always seems to be a lot of games in March, doesn't there? And a lot of exciting games to look forward to. Different types of challenges for the Sadlers. You know, playing on a Thursday night down at Bromley live on Sky Sports as well. That'll be a bit of an occasion as well. And you know, that's obviously Gillingham. We'll obviously find out probably about 10 days before whether that goes ahead or not. Obviously depends on the international call-up, so please bear that in mind when purchasing your tickets for that one. So yeah, but you know, ending the month with Wimbledon at home as well, that could be a good one with a good crowd. So really lots to look forward to. Lots going on off the pitch in a lot of those games, so keep an eye on our social media channels ahead of the home games in particular for the activities going on. So a lot to look forward to. Every game's important, especially at this stage, so I'm sure Matt Sadler and the boys will be fully focused, tunnel vision, and it will just be the next game, the next game.
It is. It's about focusing on ourselves at this point, isn't it? I know, you know, there's a lot of noise going on outside of the football club in terms of everybody's looking at, you know, the one to chase, we are the ones that are being chased, aren't we, in terms of being where we are. But it's important to remember we are still at that top of the table. We are still 4 points clear, albeit the lead's been slashed by the chasing pack. But we're there, and I think Liam Gordon said to us after the first game in March, it's a privilege to be in that position, and it's one that the group are thoroughly proud to be there. It's not a case of we just fluked being there. It's not that. We've played 34 games this season. We're there on merit, and there's the firm belief within the camp and from everybody at the training ground, everybody at the stadium that job, there's still plenty to do, but that job is the one that's firmly at the forefront of everybody's mind.
Everyone's just focused on the next challenge, the next game, and just trying to get the job done. A lot of hard work has gone in from everyone this season. It's been a real team effort. Everyone's together still. There's no sort of drop heads or anything like that. It's stick together. We know what we're good at. Let's focus on ourselves. Let's be us. And I think Liam Gordon spoke excellently after that game, which I'm sure we'll talk about in the next rewind. He's a real leader in the group, isn't he, Liam Gordon? And you're right. He's right. Pressure is a privilege, and this is exactly where the Saddlers want to be. So embrace it, and that's exactly what they're doing. There's always going to be bumps in the road. It's a 46-game league season, and yes, we might have bumps in the road, but so will other teams. 12 games, some teams may have 13 or 14. Teams are going to be taking points off each other. This is League Two, so let's enjoy the ride until now the end of the season.
Yeah, I think I've said it before. There's different types of expectations from everybody in terms of last season there was the expectation to perhaps push on and better ourselves from the season before, and we did that. There was we were the chasers at that point, hunting down that playoff pack, and there wasn't necessarily the expectations of us getting there. But then when you're getting into it and you think, everybody else is expecting us to pick that up, and now there's the expectations of you. Are you going into games and because you're top of the table, you're expected to win the games. You're expected to win them by 2 goals, 3 goals, and it's about dealing with that expectations, which perhaps some of the players here previously in their careers haven't had.
It's a young squad, isn't it? Yeah. Really young squad. Think about the amount of players we have as well. We've picked up from non-league as well, who were in their first or second season as an EFL player. So there's so much when you actually look at the bigger picture. Things you can pick out, but there's still some experienced heads here who I'm sure, the likes of Jamil, Matt, Albert Adoma, Donovan Daniels on the sidelines as well, and hopefully we might be seeing him make a return, and some of the other injured lads like Priestley as well. I think Matt Sadler's talked about them being back on the grass. So again, these are more positives that could be coming into the fold. So it's really, really exciting. There's going to be a lot to look forward to, and as you say, it's just about sticking together. Picking up as many points. Every point's going to be vital. So, yeah, really looking forward to March and what March brings.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Obviously, we say we've already had the one game. The next game coming up is tomorrow away at Carlisle. So anybody who's travelling up there, I think there's just over 200 tickets sold at the moment. We wish you a very safe travels up there. It's a long way to go on Tuesday night, so we really appreciate everybody's support, as we do for the Walsall Rewind. Thanks to everybody who's watched this one. We hope you enjoyed the month of February. Fingers crossed there's more good times to come in March. The support has been incredible, both home and away. The lads are really going to need every one of us to push in that same direction. As they've always said, it gives them that extra 5 or 10%. So, stick with them as you have done all season. And, fingers crossed we're seeing plenty more points put on the board between now and the next time we sit in front of this camera and speak to you guys. So, as always, thanks for the support, and we'll see you next time.